DSTM, episode 156. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, IQAhmath. DSTM, let's don't shoot the messenger. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Amath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Hopefully everybody's well, man. It's a hump day. Still locking in on these on this week of Feast of Tabernacles, man. If you're keeping it during the season and time and all that good stuff, man. I pray that everybody's enjoying themselves, man, and really taking in this holy week, man. All right. Very important week. It's a mandatory feast day. We covered it this past Sunday when we began day 1 to 8 day convocation. 7 days were to dwell in tents or to dwell into makeshift dwellings. And first and eighth day are Sabbath days. Just to lightly recap, man. Hopefully everybody's keeping up with their holy convocations, man, and staying in the fear of the Lord, moving in the spirit of repentance, and keeping these laws. Got some good news. Good news, and the water for everybody who took a little bit of your time out to pray for messengers of the covenant and the Don't Shoot the Messenger episodes. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, there was a live stream that I did of Friday Night Lights that got rudely interrupted by YouTube and the censorship police and said that I had violated the copyrights. So they cut me midstream and then they let me back on and then they rudely took the video down. So, I told everybody about the situation. I asked everybody to keep it in prayer because I was going to fight it. And lo and behold, the right hand of God then smacked down that false claim. And we got a victory, y'all. We got a victory, man. They reinstituted the video. Viacom dropped their copyright suit or whatever they did. And the video's now back in effect. So all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai for that. The video will be reposted this Friday evening. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, finish it, because it was almost like a 3 hour live. So I'm sure most of y'all didn't finish it if you didn't stay up, that Friday night. So if you didn't get a chance to finish it, or even view it at all, it'll be reposted this Friday evening, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Um, Myself and the rest of the family messengers of the covenant, we're going to be um, completing out tabernacles out in the wilderness. So I won't be live this week doing it. Don't shoot the messenger this week, or anymore this week. We'll be closing out through Sunday. So if possible, I'm not sure. Last I checked, the signal wasn't too strong as far as going live and recording anything out there in the wilderness in the mountains, man. So uh, if possible, we'll have a Sabbath class Saturday. If not, you know why and where we're at. All right. But the Don't Shoot the Messenger episode that was taken down again, that'll re-air this Friday, but it will only be on the IQAhmath channel. The IQAhmath YouTube channel is the only place that it will be going on. It won't be back up on Messengers of the Covenant channel. Um, Long story short, I fought it on the IQ channel. That's where it got reinstated. So if you want to see that, you got to come to the IQ channel. If you haven't subscribed to that channel yet, do so. You never know when or if they'll come and try to delete or remove either channel. It's always good to have a backup. So I'll put the YouTube channel link in the description if you're not familiar with or don't know how to find it. I'll put the YouTube link in the description box and you can locate it there. All right. So enough of that. Enough of that. Right. You see the title, man. The SHTF is in full effect. Are you ready? Are you ready? If you don't know what SHTF means, it's ish hit the fan. The ish is hitting the fan, right? You smell that? You smell it? That's end time prophecy that you smelling right there. What you smelling is judgment. What you smelling is all hell breaking loose. That will continue. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but hey, what else is going on in the world? Huh? You want me to talk about what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about that's how disconnected I am from some of this pop culture madness, man. I can't even put it all together. Oh, you want to talk about Draymond Green punching his teammate? Is that more entertaining? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Otherwise, we got to talk about what the real stuff that's affecting this world and affecting our overall salvation as Israelites, man. So let's get to it, man. I'm not going to be too long. We're going to get through these articles, run through a couple of scriptures, most high willing as the spirit permits, and then we're just going to get up out of here, man. All right. So let me share my screen, man. Let's get right to it. We're going to go here. Come on now. See, my computer's moving a little slow. The spirit trying to ride up in here. Gonna have to slow this thing down. Don't do that. All right, so here we go. This is some of the things that's being put out there publicly. We're just gonna have to wait and see when and if these things are actually gonna get fully lit. But the constant, whether you want to call it rhetoric, headlines, threats that's being made, is everybody in the sphere of geopolitics is talking about nuclear war is on the horizon. Slow Biden is even talking about Armageddon, whether it's closer to Armageddon as we are since 1963 or something like that, he said. And we covered that last weekend. We're hearing about all of these ex-military heads and NATO chiefs, and all of them is all talking about nuclear war is coming because Putin is losing this war badly, and his last ditch effort to save face is going to be launching nukes. Now, we know over this past weekend, last Saturday, there was a bomb that went off that destroyed the bridge that connected Ukraine with, Crimea with Russia. That was looked at. Russia said that was a terrorist act. Um, the rest of the world is saying we don't know who did it or how it happened. This is sabotage. The same storylines from the Nord Stream pipelines all the way to this bridge blowing up. But we got information on that we're going to talk about today that possibly the U.S. has something to do with that. Can you imagine? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, man. Uncle Sam don't. Uncle Sam always plays fair, doesn't he? Well, we're gonna look and see a story about that, man. So you got that, man. Russia came back with like his hair is on fire, man. Putin went, launched some missiles, tactical, mind you. As much as the media is talking about, oh, innocent civilians was killed, and yeah, that's true. I mean, that happens in war, does it not? But to say that you can do multiple missile strikes and only 11 people die, that sounds pretty tactical to me. I mean, if you leave it to America, America go drops whole bombs and kills hundreds of thousands of people, and nobody says anything. 11 people die, and it's a massacre and a tragedy. I mean, Esau is constantly throwing mud in each other in their faces at each other's faces and trying to say who's getting more dirty. That's the devil for you, man. They both play by the same rules, but then they try to create narratives to try to make it look like lesser of two evils. No, those are the bad guys over there. Over there, they're speaking Russian. All the good guys are the ones who can speak English. And the good, what? Come on, man. They all doing the same thing. Let's look at this. Wounded animal. See the title? You know, they're constantly riding on Putin, man. He's the wicked. He's the wounded animal, devil incarnate. The whole nine. Wounded animal. World must be ready. Did you hear that? The world must be ready for nuclear war with Russia if Putin's army collapses, warns ex-NATO chief Richard Sharif. So basically they're saying his army is collapsing. He's taking massive losses, even after those bombs, even after those missile strikes a couple of days ago. They're talking about how the Ukrainians are still making ground and the Russians are on the run. So they're going to push this particular narrative all the way to the point to where they're just going to make it seem as though when a nuke hits, a tactical nuke hits, it had to be the Russians. Well, we know about Operation Northwoods. We know about false flags, don't we? I mean, how else are they going to build back better? How else are they going to get a great reset going? War will accomplish that. But if you got one side who's saying, look, I don't really want to do this, but you're making me, I don't want to go all in, but you're making me, and they keep doing it and pushing you, and then they keep saying, he's going to do it, he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And he's like, I'm not trying to do that. And then next you know, boom, something really big happens. Then you got to question, where did it really come from? That's just my perspective. But anyway, let's look at this. The world must be ready for a nuclear war with Russia if Vladimir Putin's army collapses and ex-NATO chief is warned. General Sir Richard Sharif urged the West to keep up the pressure on the tyrant as his invasion of Ukraine loses momentum. See that? He's losing momentum. But meanwhile, they just got to talking about how he blew up all kind of stuff, man. And it was all kind of issues. And we'll see if he's losing momentum. I mean, we talked about him just regaining four regions of Ukraine back home, right? But he's losing, right? He suspects the bloodthirsty nation's army is heading for a total collapse in what could be Russia's biggest military disaster in 100 years. Sir Richard, who served as Deputy Supreme Allied Commander Europe for the alliance, even said Ukrainian forces could have successfully driven back Putin's forces by the end of 2022. But after Putin unleashed a barrage of missiles on Ukraine in retaliation for the bombing of his prized bridge in Crimea, it has stoked fears about the lengths Mad Vlad will go to. I mean, Mad Vlad, 11 people died in a barrage of missile strikes. That sounds pretty tactical to me. That sounds like he tried to limit the casualties as best as he could. I could see if he just said to hell with it, man. I'm blowing up everything and anything and everybody. There should be hundreds of casualties, thousands if he really was trying to go there. But no, no, no. They say this is a barrage, and only 11 people die. And the next day, people is back walking around on the streets. Very interesting. Very interesting. The picture that's being painted. Uh, let me look at this. Proverbs 30. Just in the mind frame of preparation. We're reading about, we hear about, we're seeing these things unfold in our eyes, and that should be putting into your mind about preparation. What are you doing? What am I doing to prepare and as best as we can through the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh and the guidance and the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge that He gives us? How is that being applied moving forward, man? Are you sitting on your ass, sitting on your hands, twiddling your thumbs, just sitting back watching, entertained, running off to the clubs, doing whatever, praying that it doesn't happen? I mean, what are you doing with your time? How do you prepare? These are all things, man, we should be questioning and trying to figure out, man. You got ultimate economic collapse. That's all over the place. You can't go to a news source that isn't talking about the economy is going to falter and completely collapse within the next year. You can't go nowhere without seeing about the gas prices, inflation, food costs. You can't see anything. Now you're seeing all of this information coming out about this this past emergency pandemic that happened the last couple of years. That now all kind of information is coming out about how things wasn't right, and the people that was calling the shot callers out on their BS were being silenced. Were being canceled. Were having their channels suspended. Whole channels taken down. And now vilification is happening to all those who were saying, hey, something's doesn't smell right with this whole thing. Now everyone from the CDC to the WHO is saying, yeah, maybe we didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna be careful with that because who knows how this thing is playing out. But I'll bring some stuff out on that in the future. But let's just look at this. In understanding just from this particular headline, the world must be ready, right? So let's look and see. Proverbs 30:25. We'll start 24. There be four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. So even the small guys, even the ones who have not too much, even the ones who, are considered as nothing and lack the resources. You don't have to have millions of dollars and getting bunkers and doing all this ish that Esau's doing. But there's things that we got the greatest power on the earth supplying and helping us. Look at this, verse 25. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So do the ants store? We're getting this understanding about wisdom, exceedingly wise. How the ants prepare their meat, they get their food, they store it for the winter. You don't see ants out when it's cold, do you? You see ants crawling around? Or do they do all their work in the summer, spring? That's when they get all their work done and they store up and hunker down in the wintertime because they know the environmental conditions is not going to allow them to survive if they go out there. So they organize and they do everything ahead of time. So knowing that, and for many people, it's kind of too late to now go out and try to get some extra little food groups and freeze dry this and do all that stuff now because stuff is so expensive. So it's hard to go out there and go, let's just say you decided to go buy for the meat eaters. Let's say you went out and you bought a 3 pound roast and you go and cook it up, you slice it up and you freezer vacuum seal and you freeze out that meat and you figure, okay, you know what? I got enough meat here that's gonna give us, depending on your family size or if you're single, you can that could last you maybe 3, 4 meals. Okay, boom, I got that set up. Then you got your rice, you got your beans, um you got your hydration liquids. You can get some of those electrolyte packs, because you might be running out of uh water, juices, or resources that's not going to have the minerals that you need. But to cut down on dehydration, you may be limited on water, but at least you can infuse that water with some electrolytes. Did you get a couple packs of Pedialyte or whatever? They got the crystallized ones now. Some of the stuff, again, you would have to be cautious of when it comes down to Passover time. Everything ain't kosher for Passover. But what you can do is get your stuff together to survive as best as you can, because it's not just going to be an outright no food available. The scriptures say that food is going to be around in many cases, but it's going to be unaffordable. So this is where we're trying to make sure the brothers and sisters at least put into your mind, man. You can go get you a 20-pound bag of rice from Smart and Final, Costco, or whatever the case may be for damn near less than $20. And that's pretty much saying $1 per pound. A pound of rice for $1? I mean, you gotta maximize it. Do your research about how to store it, and that can last you. I mean, this is just minor ideas. This is real lightweight stuff I'm talking about. Just giving some examples, right? Because when the food becomes more affordable, God forbid you get laid off and the money ain't coming in like it used to, or shortages of food, people scrambling, running to go get to their lines to get their food, debit cards, EBT, all that stuff. Say that there's a cyber attack, something happens, you can't access any of these things. We've seen all of these things already happening. You can't access it, your card ain't working. Oh, you asked out. What are you gonna do? But the Lord said that when you do these little things, you can be found exceeding wise. The conies are but a feeble folk, yet they make their houses in rocks. So you're talking about the conies like rabbits. They make sure that they're fortified in an area or in a living situation that is hard for people to break in, hard for people to, for predators to come get them. They can hide out, do what they do. I'm not talking about you got to go get some bunker and start digging underground and fortifying your basements into. No, but it's saying make sure that you have security in your homes. Read into that what you will. Okay. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth, all of them by bands. So, having a network of people around you, believers in the truth, you know, still being able to uh, organize and do things when necessary. 28, the spider taketh hold of her hands with her hands and is in king's palaces. So the spider multitasks, got things in his hands and finds favor with the king, still finds ways to get in to make things happen. So, that's just an example of things that we're seeing in regards to preparing and making sure that we've got things ready, because the world is talking about prepare for nuclear war, prepare for housing market crash, prepare for the economy and prepare for the recession, prepare for food shortages, prepare for gas prices to continually accelerate. We just keep hearing about prepare, prepare, prepare. And then what do? You say, man, he saw the damn devil. F him. He don't know what he's talking about. But meanwhile, everything that you witness and see is happening. Then you got to sit back and say, well, damn, am I being wise? Am I actually moving in the spirit? Am I actually applying the wisdom and the knowledge that the Lord said will keep me stable during these times? Am I applying it? Or am I just reading this stuff? The Lord telling you all this stuff is going to go down. And then you sit back and say, yeah, I read that. Yeah, that ain't that funny, man. It did seem like that just happened, or this is going on, and you still don't do nothing about it. I mean, shame on you. If you can, like I said, for a lot of people, it's too late, depending on the situation. Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So ignorant is never an excuse. Ignorance is never bliss. If information is out there, man, everybody got damn near, information highways and crystal balls in your pockets and purses that all you got to do is swipe or put it up to your damn thumb and it's unlocking for you and you get access to information. Wasn't like this back in the day. Not to sound like some old man, but hey, when I came into the truth, man, the internet, what? Didn't exist. It was real grassroots, seeking out information, traveling to go find books, going to libraries, hijacking, books from libraries, man, getting your credit all screwed up because you done got these books and stuff that you're not giving back. You dig what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. Trying to continue to unlock the mysteries of the word of the Lord, man, and trying to find more proof to validate the book. Right now, as the scriptures say, man, knowledge shall increase as many run to and fro, kind of paraphrasing that scripture. Now there's really no excuse. There is really no excuse. Really no excuse. Uh, hold on, that's not it. I don't know why I can't remember what that scripture is off the top of my head, but there we go. Daniel 12. Daniel 12 and 4 says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So when the Most High put the seal on the book, man, the ignorance of our people was overwhelming, and we were going through the cursed conditions before the Most High broke the seal of the book and started allowing the knowledge to increase. Many say that was around 1970, 1969 is when the knowledge started increasing. Yes, there was Israelites and the knowledge of being Israel all the way back into the 1800s. But the knowledge of it increasing and it becoming an actual movement A nation building movement was around those times, right? But prior to that, man, we was in complete darkness and ignorance. Now there's no excuse. That's why we just got to reading in Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. Where's we at? Let me find it. Dropping down real quick. Let me get to this. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So, you're seeing the headlines, you're seeing what they're talking about. The Lord said, don't take that as, just some rhetoric. And at the end all be all, if things don't go as bad as we see or as bad as we're predicting or what have you, at least you still have it. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You dig what I'm saying? That's the type of spirit you got to move in. Let's move on to this one. So being that they're saying over here, Mad Vlad is getting whipped up on and taking all these losses, and here they go, they're posing on the tanks, and it's a big old social media gathering, right? All this is going bad, right? He went out and let a barrage of missiles and only hit 11 people. It's all bad. But what is Zelensky saying? What's coming out of his mouth? Ukraine Zelensky says Russia is trying to wipe us off the face of the earth. Sounds like he's under pressure. Sounds like somebody else is taking some L's. You don't make statements like that, man, unless you're in duress. And this is him begging the West for more money, more weapons, more help. I mean, if you're not taking L's like that, man, you wouldn't be constantly beg for help. Look at this. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that there were dead and wounded in blasts the rocked cities across Ukraine on Monday and accused Russia of trying to wipe his country off the face of the earth. They are trying to destroy us and wipe us off the face of the earth, destroy our people who are sleeping at home in the city of Zaporizhzhia, kill people who go to work in Dnipro and Kyiv, Zelensky said on a Telegram messaging app. Oh, so everybody's everybody's trying to kill people, huh? I mean, he's not doing none of this either. Very interesting. Look, here goes let me let him up.
An hour ago, this another attack, continued attack.
This is a former boxer, Vladimir Klitschko. He's talking about stop this genocide. I mean, 11 people died. You want to talk about genocide? Let's talk about 100 million African Americans, so-called African Americans, dying on the Middle Passage alone. You want to talk about genocide? Let's talk about 77 million North American Indians being slaughtered and killed. Let's talk about South America, Central America, the Aztec, the Inca, the Maya. Let's find out what happened to those civilizations. If you want to talk about genocide, what are you talking about? 11 people died, and that's genocide, man. If you don't knock it off, man, you want to talk about the slaughtering of the Maroons and the Arawak Indians? You want to talk genocide, huh? Big pepper nose lying piece of. See, let me be quiet.
Of Russia.
Hyundai Santa Fe versus Honda Passport. Hyundai Santa Fe.
Ukraine. Killed civilians. Millions of people living in the city of Kiev.
So I take it that these bomb strikes and all the stuff that Ukraine is doing to the Russians, no civilians have been hit. No civilians have died. Huh? Nobody been mistaken to be a Russian. That they're just precisely getting everybody and all their prime targets. That's how war works. Interesting.
And this war and so-called free world.
Hyundai Santa Fe.
Look at this, man.
Versus Honda Passport.
Let this thing play, man. The damn commercial
Hyundai Santa Fe wins.
Must help us Ukrainians, continuing help us Ukrainians to stop this genocide of the Ukrainian population and destruction of our life, our infrastructure, and our cities.
Today morning we have a massive rockets attack to our hometown, capital of Ukraine, Kyiv.
buildings look pretty good to me. Cars on the street. He said that the infrastructure is being destroyed, genocide of the people. They all dying up.
They tell that, and I want to
Hyundai Santa Fe
I
versus
see.
Honda
Every time
Passport.
you pause it, they got a damn ad to pop up.
Hyundai Santa Fe.
I'm not gonna pause.
repeat: Kyiv was and still the target, main target of Russians.
Do you expect more attacks today?
Uh, I hope not, but we have to be prepared for more attacks today. People is angry and want to defend our houses, defend our families, our children. And main goal of this senseless war to rebuild.
Yes, it's the
They
words
playing too
Cerritos
many
Auto
damn
Square
ads on
says.
this thing, man. So I'm shutting that down. Shutting that down. But we see the games that's being played, man. There's a whole lot of politicking going on, whole lot of smoke screening, whole lot of sympathy.
Russian Empire.
Violent
We
thing
was in the
going on.
USSR. It's a message to
calm
Putin.
down.
We was in the USSR and we don't want back to
But here we
USSR.
see,
Point.
man. So
We see our future.
now they're acting like when the Russians come back, strike back, man. Oh, you blow up their bridge. You're supposedly making all this headway, taking back territories, chasing the Russians up out of there, grabbing them, taking them hostage, doing all kind of stuff. Then when the Russians strike back, oh, it's genocide. They're trying to wipe us off the map. Why Zaddy Biden send us more money, more weapons,
Future.
more
It's part of
technology? We need help. I mean, the city looks pretty decent. I did see that big screen. But the way they're talking, like thousands have died and whole city got destroyed. I didn't see that.
The first ever
Poland tells its
Genesis
citizens to flee
GV70.
Belarus now and carries out checks on its bomb
Make
shelters.
way
Absolute
for want.
Lukashenko announced a joint military task force with Russia, and Putin blitzes Ukraine with missiles, killing at least 11. So look at this. Here's Belarus. Here's Russia. Now they're saying these two now are getting ready to do joint operations and taking down Ukraine. Putin has now pushed the panic button. Not even panic button. He's just really starting to step it up. He's like, okay, that's how we plan. You blew up the bridge. You blew up the pipeline. You out here running around, taking advantage of whatever troops that they do have is out there. They've got them. I think they said they're using maybe like 20% of their military ground force. And they got, some outdated technology with weapons and whatnot. The U.S. keeps flooding and NATO keeps flooding, the Ukrainians with the highest forms of technology as far as weapons are concerned. Plus, they're getting trained. Plus, they got, remember, CIA covert operations going on in there. We just read that last week. So they're getting help from NATO. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? So here's Belarus, if anybody's wondering where that is. Poland right here, that's a NATO country. Here's the border. They share the borders, and they're saying we need to get ready. They're telling their people, hey, Belarus has joined up with Russia. Don't forget, you had all these other areas on this side over here that Russia went and regot. But he's taking losses though. Remember, he's taking all these L's. Now they're expanding, and everybody else is saying, oh, he's gonna wipe us off the map. Poland saying, get ready. Get to the bomb shelters. So you can see, man, this whole situation is getting more hot by the minute. Russian missiles unleashed across Ukraine is merely the first episode. Putin ally Dmitry Medvedev warned today. Belarus dictator Alexander Lukashenko said Russian units will combine with his own and deploy to border regions, raising fear he is laying groundwork to get involved in the war. Putin ordered attack in retaliation for the strike on the Crimean bridge at the weekend, which he blamed on Ukraine. U.S. President Biden has strongly condemned the widespread Russian missile attacks across Ukraine today. Oh, well, too bad, slow Biden. You can condemn those, man, but you need to figure out what's going on with your son. Yeah. Y'all heard about his son, haven't you? Oh, you didn't hear about that? His son, in another episode of his Follies, lied on the application to get a gun, said that he didn't have I think he said he didn't have a criminal record or something like that. So he falsified an application, a federal application to get a gun. Now he's got heat on that. They try to bury the laptop. They're trying to bury all the crackhead pictures and the naked picture. They can't do it. Slow Biden needs to clean his own damn house up, man. Hold on. Look at this again. Secret Service agents intervene in Hunter Biden gun incident. Remember the head of the FBI? He just had to retire and quit because he, interfered and told Facebook and all of them, "Hey, back up off of the laptop situation while these elections is going on." They've been protecting this cat all along. And slow Biden. Look at this dude. Look at his teeth, man. That's meth mouth. That's the same guy right here. This is when he's on crack, meth, and everything else. And slow Biden can't get his own damn house in order, man. But he's sitting up here trying to tell everybody else what's going on. Hunter Biden case. Feds believe evidence supports taxing gun charges. They believe they got enough evidence to support charging Hunter Biden, the son of President Slow Biden. I'm not even going to go there. That's just added extras. See, I be getting thrown off, man. When I see anything about Slow Biden, man, I be on his head, man. That old ass bastard got to go. Good Lord. So let's get back over here, man. So here's an article from Al Jazeera talking about Lukashenko says Belarus and Russia to deploy a joint military group. So they're getting ready to step it up. Belarusian president says the two allies will deploy a military task force without specifying a location. Of course they're not. Why would you tip your hand and then let your enemies know so that the West media can go run wild with it? So this thing is about to get even worse for Ukraine. But what's that mean for NATO? Is NATO now going to accept that application? Is NATO now going to join in and say, okay, you know what? Things ain't fair, you guys. Well, it hasn't been fair. But this is how it goes. So Belarus and Russia getting ready to do a joint task force, a joint military unit to get this war even more escalated. See, look at this. Now, who knows how long or how old this damn, picture is, but they got it looking like, oh, they shot down a helicopter. This shit look like it's been broke down for a long time. Mad Vlad, Ukraine news latest. Putin suffers a devastating blow as 4 attack helicopters are shot down in just 18 minutes. See how that goes? But hold on, but he's begging, they're wiping us off the map.
Of European family.
But you could take out a damn helicopter in 18 minutes. It's over with. Meets children with limbs blown off. Russia drags Belarus further into the Ukraine invasion. Russian missile strikes just 30 miles from Poland. So if Poland gets hit, then NATO has to get involved because Poland is a NATO ally. Right? But here they go. Vladimir Putin has suffered fresh humiliation today after Ukrainian forces shot down 4 Ka-52 attack helicopters in just 18 minutes. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense has claimed. Well, this is a claim. Nobody's got any footage of this. Nobody, in the day and age where everything comes on camera, we haven't seen that, huh? Very interesting. And then, the news, they're just gonna put up a picture of an old helicopter shot down. Okay. Fair enough. But that's where we're at with that, right? But let's look at something even more interesting. A U.S. supplied underwater drone may have caused the Crimean Bridge explosion. Independent military analysts claim. So here's another source that says the U.S. may have been the one who supplied this underwater drone to blow up that bridge. First, they said it was a suicide bomber. They was driving a truck. Truck blew up. Then you got some people saying that they got footage that it was a couple of missiles that hit the bridge. Now we're seeing the U.S. may have supplied a drone that blew up this bridge. So is the U.S. involved in this war? You be the judge. Researchers at MOFAR claim a drone may have been responsible for the blast. The Kremlin argues a truck full of explosives caused a devastating blow, but analysts point to a wave under the bridge and no hole on the road. A U.S. supplied underwater drone could have been responsible for the dramatic explosion that blasted the Kerch Bridge in Crimea on Saturday, expert analysis has claimed. Independent military researchers from MOFAR have disputed the Kremlin's claim that a truck full of explosives blew up the strategically vital passageway that links the Russian mainland to the Black Sea Peninsula. Their report argues there was no visible hole in the road surface for a potential truck bomb, and footage appears to show an explosion detonated from below the bridge. So, as the devils are trying to organize their lives and try to figure out who, where, and how did this bridge actually blow up, the Russians say it was a truck bomb. You got independent analysts saying we think that the U.S. did it with the drone. Either way, we know some foul play was involved, and it only goes to show the escalation of this war. I want to see if I can find that video, man, with the missiles. There was some video. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Uh, I can't. I don't see it within these videos right now. I thought I'd be able to find it kind of quick, but no. If I do find it, I'll I'll bring it back. Just wanted to see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't. There was a I think it might have been on Twitter though. Somebody had posted it, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. We see what's going on. We see what's going on. All right, so there's a theory that the U.S. could be involved. Does it make sense for the narrative? Does it make sense for the truth? I think so. But hey, who am I? I'm just the messenger. You dig? So let's look at this too. Wanted to show you all this, man. As we're seeing more massive deaths of animals, we've seen what happened with the cows and all of that. 477 whales die in a heartbreaking New Zealand strandings. Look at this. They washed up all across the coast. 477 whales. I mean, what is going on? You want to know what's going on? Let's see what the scriptures say. Let's look at Zephaniah 1. And let's look at how the Most High works with, judgments, man. Zephaniah 1, we'll read 1 down to 3. The word of the Most High came unto Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Most High Yahweh. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord. So this is how the Most High moves. When wickedness is in the land, the Most High strikes and hits everything. Okay? When the Lord has a controversy, when he's got an issue, everybody's fair game. Right? Hosea 4. So when you're seeing, tragic fish dropping dead in the sky, massive washings up of fishes on the shore. We've seen all those stories in times past. Now we're seeing it again with whales now. You've seen the massive die off with the cattle over there in Kansas earlier this year, a few months ago. Still, there's no answers for that, right? You're seeing all of these particular deaths of animals going on. What's going on? Well, Hosea 4. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for Yahweh will have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. This is what happens with the people. When you're following after the ways of America, you're following after the ways of the beast and the system, you adapt to swearing, lying, killing, stealing, committing adultery, breaking out, invading one another, robbing, stealing, the whole nine, living after the manners of unrighteousness. What did he say in verse 3? Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. So now we're seeing mourning within the land. Don't we see massive drought going on? Don't we see uh scorched earth with many of the crops got affected and burnt up from the heat? In many countries, we're seeing massive floodings going on, earthquakes, volcanoes, right? Hurricanes. So the land is going to mourn. Resources that used to flourish from the land, not coming like that no more. This is why the so-called white man is trying to create GMOs for everything. This is why he's trying to transition the diets from meat to bugs and poop and all of that. Because the land is mourning. They said everyone that dwelleth therein is going to languish. So everybody's going to come up short. Everybody's going to be lacking, as we're seeing right now with food shortages. But what else to say? With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. So the beasts of the fields and the fowls of heaven. So that we're seeing the food chain actually being affected through the weather issues, right? That's why you're seeing a lot of these. I've been chronicling them. I'll bring them back because I still got a few. Uh, the animals, man, is back on attack, man. I've seen. I got a couple of stories, man. The pit bulls is turning on their owners, killing kids and attacking their owners or whatnot. I seen sharks jump on into boats, chasing down Edomites, trying to bite them. I mean, I got videos of all that stuff, man. I'll bring it out most I will the next time I go live. But nonetheless, we are seeing mourning in the land, people languishing, beasts of the fields are now suffering, fowls of heaven now are suffering. And then what else I say? Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Well, this is why we're seeing things like this. Because of the judgments of the Most High. Because the Most High has a problem, it has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Because of the outright, unadulterated wickedness that's going on in the earth. Everything and everyone suffers, right? Some 477 pilot whales have died after stranding themselves on two remote New Zealand beaches over recent days, officials say. None of the stranded whales could be refloated, and all either died naturally or were euthanized in a heartbreaking loss, said Dan Grover, the general manager of Project Jonah, a nonprofit group that helps rescue whales. The whales beached themselves in the Chatham Islands, which are home to about 600 people and located 800 kilometers or 500 miles east of New Zealand's main islands. The Department of Conservation said 232 whales stranded themselves Friday at Tupangi Beach and another 245 at Wahiri Bay on Monday. This death comes 2 weeks after about 200 pilot whales died in Australia after stranding themselves on a remote Tasmanian beach. See this? The whales are just going crazy, man. They coming out the water, washing up on the shore, man, committing suicide. But the Most High said that was going to happen, man. The fishes of the sea is going to be taken away. All right. Let's look at this real quick in regards to the economy. The IMF cuts global growth forecast for next year, warns what? The worst is yet to come. Keep that in mind. This is why we talked about earlier, preparing as best as we can, because we do see here that All of these economists are all saying the same things. There's no real rosy outlook in the future as it pertains to the economy, as it pertains to inflation, gas, food, all of the essentials of living, rent, mortgage, uh, car notes, insurance, everything is going up, man. They just got to talk about the insurance companies over there in Florida. They got billions of dollars to pay out, and they ain't trying to do it because the way the insurance companies are lined up, they collect them premiums, and then they make it hard for you to get that money back, you know. And now they got no excuse but to pay. So they're anticipating a lot of them insurance companies, man, may go bankrupt because now they got to pay the piper in billions. The worst is yet to come. So, International Monetary Fund, the IMF, these are the big boys. These are the ones who go out and loaning money to countries. These are the ones who, fund coups and run whole countries with predatory loans. They're saying they expect global growth globally. The economy is going to slow down, and the worst is yet to come. It ain't just America; it's the whole world. Now, just in case anybody thought I was capping and talking crazy about slow Biden manipulating the gas, well, I showed y'all the document that he, signed off about releasing the oil reserves that America had from April, and then it's going to expire at the end of this month. This is why you see the gas prices surging back up and everything's out of control because he's trying to manipulate the minds of the people, man, trying to pacify, giving gifts, as we know, Ecclesiastes 7:10. Um, Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. He's trying to bribe and trying to win over the hearts and the minds of the people, acting as if he really cares about people's well-being and pockets and your households and all of that other stuff. And next to he lost control. But look at this. The Biden administration urged Saudi Arabia to wait until after the midterms to cut oil production. They knew oil production was going to get cut. They knew that power prices was going to escalate. They anticipated and knew. They said, "Man, just wait till after the election. Then we can kill all. Then we can kill them off. Then we can cut the pipes. Then we can really drain them out. Then we can really make them suffer. But just wait till after these primaries, man. We need to keep power. Do what you're gonna do. But can you wait till we get we can win our house back or keep the house?" So lest anybody think that that was just some, conspiracy that I'm talking about it. Other people may have been talking about that. Oh man, slow Biden is just trying to win over votes, man. Well, here you have it. The administration urged Saudi Arabia to wait until after the midterms to cut oil production and warned rejecting the offer. See how they mafia move like the damn mafia. Warned rejecting the offer would be a clear sign of siding with Russia, report claims. You know what they said with the Godfather, man? I'm making you an offer you can't refuse. Well, slow Biden in America and the Great Horse said, "Listen, you gonna turn down this good." It's not Friday Night Lights. Let me slow down. So they warned Saudi Arabia about cutting off oil prices. I mean, cutting off oil supplies. But we seen OPEC Plus last week said, "No, we're done. We're not ramping up no more oil. We're not trying to help America. That's out of here." So Saudi Arabia and the rest of the OPEC nations that have this coalition for the oil supplies, they all said, "Nope, we're not doing it." Way before the elections. And what America said, we're gonna frame, we're gonna make you look like you're supporting Russia if you do that, right? We're gonna drag you through our media. That we're gonna, paint this narrative that you're Russian sympathizers, man, and you don't support freedom and democracy. You don't support, um, women's rights, and they're gonna go with every little scenario to try to turn people against the Saudis. It's too late for that, man. You think Ishmael give a damn? The scriptures say he's a wild man. He don't give a damn what you talking about. U.S. officials asked Saudi and other Gulf producers to stall production cuts. The cuts announced early this month led to a spat of headlines. Although they take effect in November, delay would have put off further. NSC spokeswoman called it categorically false to connect this to U.S. elections. Yeah, right. Saudi officials viewed the request as a political gambit. White House spokesman John Kirby said Biden is reconsidering his Saudi stance, added that the president is willing to work with Congress on future of relations. Top Democrats have called for a freeze on arms sales after the OPEC decision. Senator Dick Durbin, good Lord, said Saudi Arabia wants Russia to win the war in Ukraine. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon took a veiled swipe at Biden as he said the U.S. should pump more oil and gas and should have been doing so for a long time. So there you have it, man. Slow Biden and his cronies, man, get busted again, trying to run with some corruption to try to keep their heads above water in this election, trying to keep their heads in their stronghold on the political movements of this great whore, right? But he's too sloppy, man. He's too sloppy. You see him stumbling and mumbling everywhere he goes. He's getting busted all the time. So, you see what's been going on, man. Are you prepared? Are you ready? If not, pray to the Most High first. That He guides your steps, man, in the spirit of wisdom and knowledge to keep you stable during these times, keep us stable these times. Pray for one another, because as the IMF has said, the worst is yet to come. Whether it's financially, whether it's through the wars, uh, the light ain't at the end of the tunnel yet, y'all. We maintain the light by keeping these commandments, man. Proverbs 6 and 23 tells us that the commandment is a lamp. That's how we keep the lights on, man. If you're looking for a light at the end of the tunnel through this dark, by any means, by the ways of the world, man, you can forget about it. Keep the Most High first, right? Always remember, fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Wipe your feet. I didn't mention that earlier. I'm mentioning it now, man. Wipe your feet on your way out. Do your brother that favor, okay? And outside of that, man, y'all have a blessed one. Lord willing, I'll be back. And we'll be back uh probably next week. Next week, man. We off into the wilderness. Shalom.